Good evening, everyone. I am Mongoose, and I've got my co-caster Baby Cthulhu here, and we're here for a Division 3 game versus Territorial Pissing versus Onslaught, and it's going to be on Cursed Hollow. I am actually sending out the draft lobby links as we speak. Mitchell, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
Doing good, man. It's a big day today. It's patch day, of course, and in Hero League on patch day, everything goes. So we're, of course, not going to see Warhead Junction because they chose Cursed Hollow, but we could see Zarya.
Yeah, that makes me a little sad. I kind of wanted to see somebody go crazy and do Warhead Junction tonight, but that's okay. We don't have to see it.
No, and from what I'm hearing about Zarya, I don't know if we'll see her either.
Probably not, but like you said, it's patch day. Anything can happen. Anything goes. We're just waiting for off slot here to get ready. That's a twister.
Alright, now that we have the admin stuff out of the way, Baby Cthulhu is way louder than Mongoose. Okay. Thanks for whoever is there. Is that Darth Malistar? Does that mean I need to go up or he needs to go down? Let me know, please.
Yeah, how does that sound now?
And I appreciate the feedback. This is the hardest part of casting, honestly, is dialing in the volume levels. All right, we are officially underway with the draft. Let me switch to that screen. There we go. That's good. Thanks, Darth Malithar. And welcome to the stream. So, Territorial Pissing, first pick, first ban. They ban out Zool.
On Cursed Hollow, that's not a first ban that you see a lot. Mostly, you see a lot of the globals or heroes who have access to global abilities being banned first here on Cursed Hollow.
His greatest strength is, of course, clearing quickly and rotating between two lanes. And this is one of the maps where the lanes are just too far for him to do that. Maybe it's just they have two top heroes in mind and they want to ensure they get one of them. Offslot responds with first ban ETC.
I'm a little bit surprised to see that, but then again, not, because he's pretty strong. He's in a pretty strong place after his rework today.
You know, and the other thing I would think is if Territorial Pissing is thinking, you know what, we ban Zool and we get Falstad or Zag, Offslot responds with, well, we'll ban ETC and we'll get the other one. So it could also be kind of an off ban to ensure that you get one of the heroes you want as well.
A little bit of mind games.
Absolutely. So we didn't have as much pregame as we normally do. I'll give you a little bit of background on these teams. Both teams have been around since Season 2. Both teams were in Division 3 last season, Season 2. We'll go with Mal. Territorial Pissing went 4-7 last season. Offslot went 5-5. So Offslot picks Johanna for the first of their two picks, and still waiting on the second pick. And there's the Zagara. So I think that ETC ban was for that reason, to make sure they got Falstad or Zagara.
They had to play the ban game with each other to make sure they got the picks that they wanted.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see a Brightwing here. She's regarded as one of the top tier heroes. And on a large map, her global certainly is very valuable.
Be interesting to see if Territorial Pissing takes double global here with the Falstad and maybe a Brightwing as well. But Muradin is going to be picked up right now, and that's actually a really good pick against the Zagara and other things that can be picked up by Offslot. And Kerrigan is going to round off their second pick here.
Kerrigan is really good on this map because she's good generally, but also the narrow corridors really go well with her combo. And that almost forces Offslot to consider banning a support like Uther, whose D-Shield really enables Kerrigan. Yeah, and that actually helps Territorial Pissing's draft because they can assume the Uther will be banned and know what they have available to them. So who are we going to see as a ban from Territorial Pissing? I would assume, I don't know. Thrall. That's a
DPS,
good
yeah,
sure.
that's a great ban on the side of Territorial Pissing. Thrall is super strong on this map. His Sundering is really goes really well with the tight corridors, just like you were saying with Kerrigan. Thrall can do the same kind of things as well.
Not only that, you pair up Zag and Thrall on the same team. That gives you the two biggest lane bullies in the game. The early game would have been very tough for Territorial Pissing to keep up with both a Zagara and a Thrall in lane.
I'm almost surprised I didn't see the Thrall being picked up by Territorial Pissing to match that Zagara. You know, you always see somebody picks up a Zagara, the other team gets Thrall to kind of deal with it. But Brightwing here is going to be picked up for Offslot. That's their global presence right there. And to round it out, a KT pick as well. Let's see. Territorial Pissing might go for another melee, but they might not now because of the KT that's on Offslot's side.
Unless, of course, that next melee is Tyrael, because Living Bomb doesn't do anything when you're Sanctified. So there's
right.
With all the heroes in the game right now, and the fact that they all have their little niche and they're viable in situations for the most part, it's a really good place for the game to be in right now.
Yeah, Heroes is consistently one of the most well balanced games I think I've ever played.
Yeah, and what makes it, I think, easier for them to balance is that they don't have to deal with the items that the other MOBAs do. The talent system allows them to keep individual heroes tuned without having to worry how items will affect individual heroes.
That adds in such a crazy layer of balancing that just doesn't exist. Nice.
So last pick for Territorial Pissing, and they can really kind of go any number of directions. I would expect some kind of range specialist or range DPS would be my guess. Maybe
surprised we haven't seen a Sylvanas yet. She's a little bit redundant on Cursed Hollow, but she is just a strong hero overall. Great range damage dealer. So they can really take their time here. They've got 35 seconds left. They're probably just talking it out, thinking about it.
Yeah, Sylv is a little redundant, except for when you have a boss and there's no curse, then she's really good. And she's generally good anyway, so Sylv is one that I would consider seeing. Maybe a Lunara as well would be a possibility for that kind of sustained poke damage.
Lunara is really good now because of the change to mount speed. Sonya is going to be the last pickup here by Territorial Pissing.
That's
another frontliner. Yeah, it's very surprising to see them draft another frontliner into the KT.
Yeah, because now you basically have 3.5 melee. We'll count Rhaegar as a half because he's not going to be on the front line really, but 3.5 melee heroes against Kael'thas's Living Bomb and a Condemned to draw them into the Living Bomb. So it will be very interesting to see how they play around that, because Kael'thas's strength nowadays is teams with a lot of melee heroes.
After 10, they may just be hoping to dive past that Johanna, get to that backline, and just be able to do work. I mean, the Sonya, the Muradin, and the Kerrigan can both pretty much, all three of them can just ignore Johanna at a certain level in the game and just start to do absolute wreckage to that backline.
Yeah, Kael'thas's Living Bomb doesn't matter if they kill him. So I would expect a second frontliner here, somebody to help Johanna hold off that really heavy, aggressive Sonya, Kerrigan, Muradin attack from Territorial Pissing. Maybe like a Leoric with the double tank to really bust Muradin off that front line with Drain Hope.
We'll see them go for something really ballsy here, like a Tychus.
Tychus would be very good, except for then you have a... Tychus would almost have to function as an off-tank in this comp because they don't have any other choices.
Tyrael is going to be the final pickup for Offslot. I actually really, really like that pick. The Sanctification gives them a lot of staying power, and everybody can more tightly pack around the Brightwing now because of the shields that they get from Tyrael as well. So I really like that front line there that they've got on the side of Offslot.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on the Tyrael player in that comp because he has to be spot on with his Sanctification timings. If he's too late to respond to the Sonya Kerrigan dive, one of his teammates could be already dead. So there is a lot of pressure on him to pull the Sanctification off at the right time, but if he does it, he's really going to negate the dive coming out of Territorial Pissing's comp.
And that, I believe the Sanctification just got a little bit of a cooldown nerf. Sanctification and Judgment got their cooldowns swapped. So you're right. Not only is he going to have to be on point, but they're also going to have to kind of pick and choose their battles around being able to even Sanctify in the first place.
You know, and the other disengage they have is if Brightwing goes Emerald Wind, that can help respond to that. And if she also saves her Polymorph for a diving Kerrigan or a diving Sonya, that's going to help her team as well. So they do have a couple of different responses to a dive-heavy comp from Territorial Pissing. And it's really going to come down to execution of these two comps to see which one's going to come out on top.
In your opinion, who is the team that has the lower burden of execution in this match?
That's a good question. I think overall, Offslot does, excepting Tyrael. He has to really be Johnny on the spot with the Sanctification. So individually, I think he may have the hardest pinpoint timing for that, but his team overall, I think, is going to be a little bit easier to execute what they want. You really have to coordinate the dive on the other side. If Kerrigan and Sonya and Muradin aren't on the same page, which when they're diving, they're going to be diving into a polymorph and a living bomb. One person diving or staggering their dives could be very difficult for them.
All right, here we go.
Now, early game, I really like Offslot's early game. I think they have a little bit better for laning with Kael'thas and Zag and Johanna, and to a lesser extent Brightwing, all being really good in lane as far as clearing quickly. In a way that Sonya picked actually helped Territorial Pissing's early lane a lot because she's a good laner as well.
Yeah, I wonder if that was maybe what they wanted to go for there, just a little bit more wave clear.
Maybe, but if they were going wave clear, they could have gone Jaina and not have to worry about the triple melee, you know? All right, I'm going to go ahead and call out Offslot on the red team here. We have Killed by Me on Kael'thas, Veil Side on Tyrael, Fonzie on Zagara, Draw on Johanna, and Ghost Dunk on Brightwing.
And on the side of Territorial Pissing, we're going to have Providence on Rhaegar, Dr. Dog on Sonya, Saifu on Kerrigan, Polite on Muradin, oh that's cute, and Lockdog on Falstad.
You know, this is completely out of nowhere, but you know what just dawned on me? Mitchell, you have such a good announcer voice. I don't know if you know who this is, but you sound like Charlie Steiner when you're casting.
I do not know who that is.
Okay. Look it up. He's one of the Dodgers guys. He's got that really good announcer play-by-play voice.
You know, I don't know his name, but now I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you sound a lot like him. So we only
used to watch a lot of Dodger games.
Yeah, we only have 3 from Offslot, taking on 5. This is not what you want to do with the dives and the stuns. That was a really good iron skin by Johanna to make sure she gets out alive.
You know, it wasn't the best 3v5, but with Tyrael and Johanna, they can pretty much take anything at this level.
So now we have people rounding off into lane. Zagara, of course, is soloing bot. It looks like you're going to have Brightwing soloing top. And they're not going to let Zagara be by herself. It looks like you have Kerrigan sort of trying to camp out for a pick. And you're going to have Sonya do their best to keep Zagara at bay. Now Tyrael is rotating down. I think they had an idea that Kerrigan had to be down there. So now you have Zagara and Tyrael bot, and Kerrigan is rotating away. Probably going to try to catch
really
Kael'thas
smart
on the
rotation here by Kerrigan. Yep, and they're going to get the stun on KT. Yep, the Stormbolt's going to finish him off there.
Yeah, that's definitely a map awareness thing. When you're one of those squishy backliners, you really just have to keep one eye on the mini-map. Once Kerrigan was nowhere to be found, you can't cross the halfway point, basically. Especially with these bushes right here. See, Brightwing is, I think, aware. He's staying very close. That's too far. That's too far. So,
yep, the Kerrigan's absolutely going to try to take advantage of it right here. Going to get the stun off the combo, but not going to be able to finish it.
Yeah, if maybe Muradin was there, one more stun would have done it. But that was, when he started stepping that far out, that was really pushing the envelope.
Now that the side of Offslot has kind of decided to start to split their lanes a little bit more, Kerrigan's taking the opportunity to roam herself and try to get ganks, but we're going to see Falstad and Kerrigan come over here and take the siege camp really early, and leaving the top lane open.
Tyrael and KT doing the same thing, but Offslot is manning all 3 lanes, and with Kerrigan rotating away, look at what Zagara did to this bottom lane when left by herself with Sonya. She took out the whole front wall.
Yeah, that is a dirty position to leave Zagara in, and she's actually just going to stay down there, put some more creep up, get some sight. She took the infest. She knows she has the advantage on lanes here, and she's just going to be able to do some work down there. While we have, it looks like a 5v4 up top, all 5 members of Territorial Pissing here, going against 4 members of Offslot.
I really like this tactical decision from Offslot. As long as nobody dies, the soak, no, KT run, the soak they're going to get from Zagara is going to help them pull ahead, and you already have a full level difference. So Johanna...
They have excellent... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, they need to pull out now. See, now they've stayed too long. They didn't completely give up the advantage, but once they kind of, KT had to withdraw, that's your time to cut your losses and leave. But
they wanted the delay up there.
They traded 1 trib for bottom fort.
That is not a good trade, if you ask me.
Yeah, Territorial Pissing there. They, I mean, it was kind of a tough situation because she had the lane bullied so far. The only way you could have kept him is by leaving maybe 2 people down there, because obviously Sonya wasn't able to do it on her own. So your choices were go get the tribute and let Zagara do her thing, or send 2 people down there to deal with him and be at a disadvantage of the tribute. So that's what I was saying. I really think this early game favors Offslot's comp.
Agreed. And, you know, it's the same thing. It was the first tribute. They could have possibly done that and had it not be too awful for them, put them in too far of a deficit. But because they decided to, they're, you know, now that they are at the level deficit, and we're going to see Sonya here trying to take the bruiser hardcam. She's going to leave it. She's not going to take it for now. Okay, she's going to take it after all. The tribute gets called, and she's going to take it Hearth back and hopefully get some help. We're going to have the tribute here, top side on the side of Offslot. They're going to probably get there first. But as we see here, Territorial Pissing does not want to leave Zagara down here in the bottom lane by herself. We're going to see 3 members come down here, start to clear some creep, try to get maybe a pick here, or at least try to get some push. There's not a lot Zagara's going to be able to do against those 3 members here. KT picks up the trib for the side of Offslot. And we now have 4 members down in the bottom here, trying to get some counter pushing, trying to do some work. We have Muradin up there with Brightwing and KT. Offslot's really split, and Territorial Pissing could have gotten some work there, but they decide to back off as soon as they see the Tyrael.
Well, there's a couple of observations I made there. 1, Territorial Pissing has lost at least 1 wave of soak in the mid lane by doing that push. 2, Zagaro had really nice map awareness not to get picked off by that hard rotation. And 3, I don't know if you noticed mid lane, but Killed by Me on Kael'thas was very aware of Kerrigan sitting in the bushes, and he did not go forward at all, so he learned his lesson from that early game pick.
Nice to see those little improvements in a game like this.
So now we have both teams posturing before the 3rd tribute. So far, both of them have been top lane. So that means it's going to be a bottom lane tribute, and it's going to be a bottom lane tribute on the side of Territorial Pissing. Brightwing is going to hang out top, get as much split soak as he can, probably before teleporting down. And here we have the rotations. Territorial Pissing a little bit later than their opponents.
This fight's going to be heavily in the side of Offslot right now. Kerrigan's late on the rotation, and she's got to go the safe way, or else she's going to get blown up. So Johanna's going to push out their entire team while Brightwing's going to try to take it. Sonya's going to try to dive back there. She gets the delay, gets a good combo for the Kerrigan. Ooh, Muradin's right about to go down, gets the jump out, and once again, Brightwing's back on there. Sonya's trying to go in, gets the stun, flame strike. Oh, here comes the Kerrigan. She was too late for the tribute, but she can maybe get a combo off and hopefully not get picked here. And we're only going to see 1 pick, and that's on the side of Territorial Pissing. 2 picks now for the Kerrigan. Tyrael was in the back there trying to handle business and got killed.
A 2-for-1 trade in favor of Onslaught, in addition to getting the trib. And in that narrow corridor, Kael'thas hit about 2 huge Qs in addition to living bombs, and that's why Territorial Pissing's got health bars. They got so low so fast because of Kael'thas's damage in those tight corridors. But they did get the push in the top lane with the Giant, so silver linings for Territorial Pissing.
Sure, they're not only that, but Rhaegar's up there trying to get some work done on that fort. But Trib is going to pop sooner or later. It's at the bottom on the side of Offslot.
Now we have both sides have hit level 10. So we have Emerald Wind for Brightwing, Blessed Shield for Johanna, Maw for Zagara, opting not for the global. I think that's Phoenix on Kael'thas and Sanctification on Tyrael.
I love this call on the side of Offslot right now. They're saying, we don't care about that tribute. They're expecting us to be there. We're actually just going to go ahead and get our boss instead. But hopefully they can find somebody to tank this boss, though, because it looks like Tyrael might go down.
Yeah, Johanna wasn't there to tank the boss, and so they gave up the tribute and a boss, though, for that decision, and now they're all going to have to herf back. So without Johanna there, that was a little bit dicey to get that boss.
And Territorial Pissing sniffed that out, or maybe they just wanted to do an aggressive move of their own, went and got their boss. So you're right, not only did they get a trip, but they also got their boss. So we're going to see probably both teams here rotate around to try to defend each other's bosses.
Yeah, I think Territorial Pissing definitely sniffed that out when Offslot completely surrendered the tribute, which was on their side of the map, and they completely disappeared off the map. You have to know they're at the boss. So this completely backfired on Offslot because now they have to deal with the boss. With the tribute on top lane, they're going to give up Curse. It looks like they're going to leave boss to try to go. They've just got to give up the Curse. They're way too late. There's no way they can get there in time. That was an excellent cleanse by Brightwing.
Yeah, their two tanks are going to stay down there to try to deal with boss on the first curse. Is going to go to Territorial Pissing.
That pre-cleanse by Brightwing on Zagara for the Kerrigan combo absolutely saved Zagara from dying to Kerrigan. That was a really, really well done.
Not sure we went over the ultimates on the side of Territorial Pissing. For Falstad's going to pick up Mighty Gust. Avatar is going to be picked up by Muradin. Kerrigan's going to go for Maelstrom. Sonya is going to go for Leap. And Rhaegar is going to go for the Ancestral Healing.
All right, so both teams kind of posturing right now. Of course, Offslot is going to have to deal with the curse point. Even though they lost the curse, they're actually up in level. And it looks like they're probably only going to lose the 2 keeps, which is kind of, I would say, par for the course. That's about what you would expect for the first curse. Oh,
wow, a great Maw coming in, yeah.
And now you're going to have Sanctification, the pre-gust for the Sanctification. Great gust by Falstad.
The Ancestral comes down on Kerrigan as she's in there. There goes the Sanctification now. Going to keep everybody alive. They are probably going to be able to turn this around on Kerrigan here. Sonya dives in, trying to get that. Nope, there goes the Kerrigan right there. And Territorial Pissing is kind of on the run right there. Here comes the Living Bomb.
Is going to get Rhaegar and Falstad. And Falstad.
There he goes.
Wow.
You hate to see that. You hate to see that. That's exactly what we were talking about before the game. Perfect targets to spread that Living Bomb everywhere. You know, Rhaegar went to his Ghost Wolf form and was actually able to get closer to Falstad at a sooner point because he goes that much faster.
You know, that could have gone worse. That Maw was really excellent. The Phoenix went out a scotch early, but no big deal. But Tyrael Eldruin's Might in right next to the Maw, and there is no doubt he was going to pop Sanctification as soon as they got out. And Falstad's Mighty Gust prevented that from happening, and maybe saved an ace.
I think he saved pretty much their whole entire team there. That was really, really well done on the side of Offslot.
So Falstad saving his team, but they are still down a level, and the map, despite the first curse going to Territorial Pissing, is slowly getting colored red again.
That early advantage by Offslot is going to really, really do some work here. Unfortunately, it looks like Territorial Pissing just couldn't pick it up in time to reduce that level gap and be on level with them for at least the first 10 minutes or so of this game.
An aggressive 5-man push with Mercs on the side of Territorial Pissing. And yes, they are going in there. Falstad's going around to flank, and he's actually going to steal the camp that Sonya started. Excellent play by Falstad.
Just gonna barrel roll through the woods there and be able to get out clean.
That was really well done by Falstad. They're gonna have a lot of pressure on this fort, and I like this re-engage. While Offslot is going to deal with, nope, I thought they were for sure gonna try to take that fort, but they decide to rotate down and clear the bottom lane.
I think that they might have been holding back a little bit because they know that Falstad has the wingman, the new bribe talent, that let him just kind of sneak that camp away from the people who were getting it on the side of Offslot.
Yeah, it was Johanna getting it, and she had all but 2 of them down, and I guess the team made the call that it was better off to have her defending. So Johanna actually left to leave the camp and not get it, and Falstad just happened to swoop in there and use the bribe stacks to finish it off.
Territorial Pissing is going to look like they're going to finish off that, at least the fort there that they wanted in the first place, not the tower. That's probably going to be left to the minions here. But again, the tribute on the side of Territorial Pissing, low on their side. It's going to take a long time for Offslot to...
I don't think they're going to get there in time. especially with the zone here.
He's in there with the sanctification, and that's only going to last for so long before he gets blown up.
I don't
they
like
still
that
can't
call
stick
at all.
around because of that trait. There goes the Falstad to the Tyrael trait. Here comes Johanna. Blessed Shield goes in.
Murden
They're going to be able to slow
melted
this
and
Murden
vulnerable.
here. Looks like...
Oh,
okay,
Kerrigan combo on 3
done.
people. A great Emerald Wind Maw disengage, but Offslot needs to get out of dodge. They need to leave fast.
That's going to be a bad fight for them if they stick around.
Yeah, good on Johanna to go back, make sure her team gets out safely. KT is not in a good place right here. The Maw Brightwing disengage was well done because that was looking like a 4-man death for Offslot right there.
Looks like Territorial Pistons is going to go ahead and start their boss right now. They know that, you know, Offslot really needs that next tribute, so they want to have them deal with the boss instead of trying to get that next tribute that pops.
Offslot has sniffed it out a little bit late, but I think with the nerfed mount speed, they should be able to get it in time.
We're going to see the same thing on the side of Offslot here. They're going to go for theirs. Looks like they're about halfway done. They're finishing it faster than Territorial Pissing was able to finish theirs. So they're going to have 2 bosses here and a mega push here on that top lane on the side of Offslot.
So now it's really going to be up to RNG where this next tribute is, and whichever team happens to be closer to it is probably going to get it, because they're both going to rotate toward bosses, I would imagine. So if this tribute is in the top lane, Offslot's not going to get it. And if this tribute is in the bottom lane, Territorial Pissing is not going to get it.
They might be able to finish it here pretty fast. It's going to come down to, you're right, it's just going to come down to that RNG on where the tribute spawns. And there it goes, right in top there on the side of Territorial Pissing. But Offslot had already finished the boss that was on their side, saved the keep, and now they're going to rotate up. And they're going to be a little bit late, but they might be able to contest it.
Yeah, I think they will. They rotated, they got done with the boss just in time, and they started rotating quickly. And Johanna and Tyrael are in first, which is exactly what you want. Phoenix to deter.
There goes Sonya,
and there's a
leaping on
4-man
the
leap on
backside.
Sonya, and then she gets 1-man mod. Kerrigan has used her ult into the Sanctification, gets melted, and then Ancestral, and then melted again. She is on full retreat. Emerald Wind to protect to Offslot's backline. There's the Gust disengage. Everybody low, nobody dead, but there goes Tyrael, and the Ghost Angel is going to do something to somebody. No, everybody got out of the way. That was a big victory for Territorial Pissing, not to die to the Tyrael. Johanna doing what she does and just staying alive, but there's the leap into the Kerrigan combo. Offslot has to retreat here. 2 members dead. Full retreat for Offslot, and the tribute will go to Territorial Pissing. That was a really fun team fight.
That was great to watch. You know, watching the little micro was a really fun. Tyrael going in on the Kerrigan, Holy Ground, to keep her there. It was actually not only a really good choice, but a really bad choice. It kept him away from the rest of his team, while Territorial Pissing decided to clean up Kael'thas on the side of Offslot, and therefore Territorial Pissing was then able to turn it back around onto that Tyrael and get a pick off on him as well.
Yeah, and then you had a clutch Ancestral from Providence and Rhaegar, followed by a Sonya engage into a 3-man Kerrigan combo, and that was really the straw that broke the camel's back on that team fight for
if you're Territorial Pissing, you've got to feel a little bit good about that team fight. It kind of feels like they're kind of getting the game back in their hands a little bit here. This is going to be the 5th of this tribute cycle. This tribute here decides who gets the next curse. Unfortunately, Johanna's all the way in bottom getting that siege camp, and she's going to be the latest to rotate here on this tribute.
Offslot can't contest this. They're too far, and Territorial Pissing is going to get their 2nd tribute. Or not. There's another Ancestral, and there's the Maw. They got the tribute. Sanctification saves the Kerrigan combo, but Offslot is definitely withdrawing. Now Kerrigan damage, or Kael'thas damage, may be starting to take effect here. Johanna being very aggressive, driving the whole enemy team. Holy Ground splits off Muradin, who Dwarf tosses back with his team. There's a huge Kerrigan combo and an excellent Emerald Wind disengage. Both teams executing really well. There's the Gust to Falstad to keep himself alive. Still nobody dead. Sonya very low with the vulnerable, and there goes 2 members. Finally, Sonya and Rhaegar falling. Offslot able to take the fight 2-0 so far, but in the meantime, this curse is being wasted that Territorial Pissing just got. Muradin is trying to run away. There goes Kerrigan. An excellent team fight by both sides. Offslot was just able to wrap it up.
That was a really, really fun and exciting team fight to watch on the side of Offslot especially. But, you know, there are a lot of minions approaching that core on the side of Offslot, but it's going to be interesting to see what they do here. They want to get a keep. They want to at least get Caddis somewhere in a lane, so we're going to see this here by the time the curse is just ended, and they're going to stick around.
Their core shields are melting.
I don't think they realize it either, or maybe they just want to finish it before the minions do. Looks like they're going to back off, and people are going to start to hearth back to deal with that push. Meanwhile, Offslot gave up 2 keeps, 5% on the core. You can definitely say that Territorial Pissing is winning right now.
Yes, definitely. Anytime you're down a keep, 2 keeps is very hard. You almost have to keep one person goaltending, so they're going to have one person pinned back up at base. And now they're waiting for the boss, they being Territorial Pissing, and I don't think Offslot realizes it.
They might be trying to sniff it out here. Tyrael definitely knew what was going on here, but I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do. The Holy Ground and the Sanctification only goes so far. He may be able to steal the boss, but oh, there goes the Gust to perfect timing to secure that boss for the side of Territorial Pissing. Wow, a 4-man mock here on the side.
And Kerrigan just goes crazy, followed up by the leap. This is probably... Nope, just kidding. Great Sanctification. Falstad and Rhaegar caught out with the Sanctification. That Sanctification saved the game as of right now for Offslot.
Sonya looking to try to get out here. Ignore Pain is going to help her do that as well. And now Offslot's got to deal with the boss here, pushing on the only lane that they don't have, that they have a keep on. And if I were Territorial Pissing, I'd be heading straight up to the other side's boss to try to capitalize on their distraction right now.
A silly question, Mitchell. I don't know if you know the answer to this. Sometime during this last few minutes, I pressed 5, and now I'm locked onto Red Team's vision. Do you know how to take it off?
You should just be able to double-click anywhere else. Or escape.
Nope. Alright, well, we're just going to have to deal with
it. Oh, really? How do you... Press E, somebody in chat says.
There we go. Hey, thanks, guys.
There you go.
I knew there was a button.
No, 0 will actually hit you all the way to Tyrael.
Yeah.
Yeah. 0 is the 10th player.
It was indeed E, thanks to shenanigans. So it looks like Offslot here is going to concede this tribute because they have to maintain their lanes. All 3 keeps down.
Another tribute on the side of Territorial Pissing. I believe Offslot has only gotten those 2 tributes that they have right now.
They've been a little bit bitten by the RNG bug with some bad luck, but they've also lost some team fights too.
And this team fight, Kerrigan's going to go in and try to get a combo out. Here goes.
There's the Sanct.
All of these ults. 4-man leap right there. Zagara trying to rotate up and save her team. A lot of ults going out. The only person going down is Falstad from the Living Bomb.
That Holy Ground may have saved his team as a disengage. If both sides stayed in there, that team fight would have decided the game, 100%.
Absolutely. Still may. They're trying to look for the Rhaegar here. It's a great pick that they're trying to look for. But it looks like they maybe want to go on this Kerrigan here. That's Hearthing. Nope. All right, we're going to have a little politeness here going on the side of Offslot. I'm not sure that they saw the Kerrigan, but if they had, they definitely would have turned around on him.
Yeah, I like that Territorial Pissing chose to withdraw. They really only had bad things happening to them there. Although a boss pushing down a keepless lane at level 21 and minute 21 could be a win condition. So they're going to get some work done, Offslot will, with this boss.
Yeah, that's going to go really far for Offslot. But if you're on the side of Territorial Pissing, do you think maybe this is the time to just bum rush core?
I think you have to think about it, because Brightwing is doing the lane maintenance, which is an excellent decision, because she can just teleport in.
But, you know, as soon as they show up there, everybody hearths back. It becomes a quick 5-on-5 under the red side's core. Then it doesn't become so appealing after all.
Yeah, well,
and yeah, Territorial Pissing is going to take a defensive stance here and try to get this boss down. But 4 members of Offslot are going to try to go in as hard as they can to try to finish this game.
Kerrigan's in flanking position, but now they see her with Peekaboo from Brightwing, and she has to withdraw. So that effectively eliminates Kerrigan from this team fight, and for the time being, it's a 5-on-4. And
All
Kerrigan is
5 members of Offslot finally here on the core. They are going to get a 2-man Maw followed up by a Gus on the side of Territorial Pissing. Don't know what happened to the Rhaegar there.
I think Offslot's going to get this.
Yeah, this might be game right here. I'm not sure what they can do to turn it around. Even if all 4 members die, the boss is still up, and there it goes. Offslot for the win.
That was a great game. That was a really fun game.
Yeah, that was really fun to watch.
We had Offslot take the early lead with their better early comp, took the early level lead, and then fell behind, lost all 3 keeps, managed to win a team fight, take the boss, and take the game back. Really a great game. Well played by both sides. I think, honestly, of all the games that I've casted for Chair League, the team fights in this one may have been the most fun. They were so good. Both sides executed so well, and all of these team fights could have really gone either way.
Those were some pro-level team fights right there. You know, you and I talk about all the time watching team fights that go on and on and on and on, and nobody dies. Everybody just gets close to dying. I kind of felt like they were getting a little bit close to that level of team fighting here in this game.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I've been in Chair League for 3 seasons now, and I've played on a Division 1 team and a Division 3 team, plus I've casted. I have a pretty good feel for the level of play. The way both of these teams played today is higher than Division 3 level of play. So props to both teams here. I don't know if they both had a good day or maybe they're being undervalued, but that was higher than Division 3 play and really good on both teams.
Yeah, timings were perfect. Combos were landing. Maws were hitting 3 to 4 people. I mean, just all over the place. Everybody was playing extremely well.
Good patience on both teams. They both teams used their ultimates in conjunction with one another. Zagara landed, I'm going to say Zagara MVP tentatively. Her Maws were so good. It seemed like she never missed on the Maws.
The only thing that could really compete was the fall stat and the follow-up gusts a lot of the time. But even then, the Maws were enough to either save people or to convert to kills. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here. I don't think that Offslot got a single curse.
No, I don't think they did either. At the last tribute that spawned, they could have gone down there 5-on-3 and gotten it, and instead they made what turned out to be the game-winning decision to leave the tribute, get the boss in the lane without a keep, and push down the lane for the win. This was a really fun game. Anything jump out to you on the stat screen here, Mitchell?
On the stat screen, not too much. You see a lot of things that are normal, with the exception of the siege damage on Johanna. Ever since her integrated knight versus pawn, or knight takes pawn rather, wow, she does a lot of damage to pretty much non-hero targets. You can see there she actually surpassed the Zagara, who, you know, her first talent was Infest, for example, who helps her do extra siege damage against minions. So it's that's the only thing that really surprises me there is just the pure amount of siege damage that Johanna was able to get.
You know, and the siege damage is a little bit of a misnomer because basically that was Johanna killing minions damage. But look at this. You have Johanna and Zagara both had more than double the siege damage of anybody on Territorial Pissing. And that was that early game that we were talking about, where Zagara was able to stay in that bottom lane for so long and get so much done. And that early lead, the early lead that they got, which they lost, but the early lead enabled them to struggle a little bit in the mid game and not fall out of the game. And it was that early comp that eventually allowed them to stay in the game when they fell out of it and eventually win.
Yeah, that was really smart on the side of Offslot. It just goes to show you Zagara, despite her nerfs, still a really strong hero, especially when she's left to her own devices.
Well, that was a fun one. I was a little bummed we only got to cast one game tonight, but quality over quantity, my friend, because that was a really fun game. So thanks to both teams for allowing us to cast. Anytime you want us to cast your games in the future, we'd be more than happy to, because that was a lot of fun. Oh, and I just realized I didn't change this. So this is not Fatal Destiny versus Big Damn Heroes. This was Offslot picking up the win and increasing their record to 3-1, staying near the top of Division 3. Territorial Pissing with a really good showing and a really close loss, falling to 2-2. Any final thoughts for you tonight, Mitchell?
Just to echo what you said, if there was only one game for us to cast tonight, I'm really glad it was this one because that was a really, really exciting match to watch. It was really, really back and forth there. And when Territorial Pissing got that level lead sorted out, it became a nail biter. And it was just really good moves all around, I think, on both sides. I don't think any one team was particularly overly better than the other team. But certain little things and little decisions definitely made the game for Offslot. It was just a blast casting that game.
Agree 110%. So thanks again for allowing us to cast the game. If you liked what you saw, please follow me on Twitch. Mitchell and I both have our Twitter handles under our names here. For me, that's 2 underscores past Mongoose. If you only put 1, you're going to get the wrong guy. We don't want you to get on him. So Mongoose __ 22. Follow me on Twitch. Follow me on Twitter. And we'll be back. We will be casting a game Friday evening. So looking forward to that. And to the players, when you guys rewatch this, because I'm a player too, and I know you will, please send us feedback if there's things you liked or things you didn't like. Let us know. Great game, both sides. Once again, Offslot taking a nail-biter of a victory from Territorial Pissing, increasing their record to 3-1. Mitchell, have a good night, buddy.
Yeah, you too, Mongoose. Take care.